Hello, I am Pam, and this is my channel, Made by Pam. How is everybody doing today? So, if things look a little bit different, it's because I'm using a different computer, because my other computer, so let me show you my other computer. So I usually use this computer here. My laptop is Lenovo. Oh, no. Hi, Patty. And hi, Joni. So I usually use this computer, and every couple months, the camera on it takes a nosedive and doesn't want to work, and I end up having to take it in and have it fixed at Best Buy because I can't figure it out. My husband can't figure it out. And not only that, but he's not home at the moment. And so I got out one of my Chromebooks that I have because it's what I used to use when I used to do videos a lot of the time. So it's what I'm using. So I'm hoping this works. I'm going to go ahead and put that on live chat. And so today we are going to be painting the number 7s and the number 8s and possibly more, depending. And I got, well, I've had this little box forever. Geez, like over 15 years. But I just put my little paints in there to keep them all together. I'm going to get out my paintbrushes. So I got 3 paintbrushes that came with the kit. And I'm going to get out. Oh, I should have left my other scissors out. Just grab a pair of scissors really quick. Because what I like to do when I'm doing this is I like to cut apart the tubs of paint. So that I'm working with one each individually. And I cut off the ends pretty close, so I'm not having to deal with the ends. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Dixie. How are you guys? I'm doing a paint by number. I've got my cup of water here for rinsing off my brush if I need to. I've got a paper towel here to wipe the brush. I have my paint brushes, and I have my paints. So I am going to go ahead and get started and go ahead and stream me down because I use my computers to do this. And hopefully it's a good enough picture here. Move it over some. Yeah, that looks okay. Oh, is Emerson sick, Kathy? I'm so sorry about that. That poor girl. I heard she was coughing again the other day on Monday when you were doing your video. Oh, she had the stomach bug. Oh, my. I can definitely tell they didn't put very much yellow in this for number 7. Like number 7, you don't have a whole lot of to paint. But come on. You could have given me more paint than that. Look. I don't know if you can see that. How empty that cavern is there. Hey, look at that opening. I had it hold it up there to make sure I could see it in my screen. because washes out. I just got paint all over myself. Oh yeah, drainage. That's hard, Kathy. Like, my son stayed home from school on Monday. If he wasn't home, I might have streamed on Monday. But he was home. So there was no way. And I just like to use a smaller brush to get these smaller areas. And it's hard when they miss out on school too, Kathy. But them getting better is most important. Definitely. So hopefully you guys hear me okay. Like, I did hear a sneak peek when I finally connected with my phone. So I know the mic is working. One of the reasons why I went from this computer I'm using right now to do this live, one of the reasons why I went from this one to the other one is because with this computer, I can't really do much editing. It doesn't have that software to add the extra stuff. Now, I could probably get it on it. But yeah. And I think I was running out of space on my hard drive, which I got a hard drive, like an external hard drive, that I can transfer all my files to. So if the computer fills up too much, I can transfer all my videos and stuff to my hard drive. But yeah. Well, I'm just going to continue to use this small brush to fill in the 7s. I know with the 8s, I'll probably definitely use the bigger brush. Just because the 8s have such a larger surface area to fill. I will be using the smaller brush on the 8s too, because I do have a lot of smaller areas. Did I show the picture? This is the picture I'm doing, and this is approximately what it should look like after it's done. It won't look 100% like that because this is like a, picture, and this is painting, and that's not 100%. And I can tell that there is a lot of lag going from my computer to my... I can tell there's a lot of lag. So it happens. Yeah, it's a... Oh, that looks like a giant pickle right there. Or, yeah, I think that's what you're looking at. So hopefully this continues to work. Right now, it is snowing. So yesterday, it started raining. Like, it was raining off and on yesterday. Like, pretty much all day. But, like, 3 o'clock when I'm picking up kids, it starts raining even more. And then heading out to take my son to his therapy, because he had therapy at 4. Driving on the freeway, you know. You got quite a lot of rainfall. And coming back, there was lots of rain too. And so, like, I know at 9 o'clock it was still raining last night. So it had been raining for like 6 hours. And I think it continued to rain all night, because I woke up several times in the middle of the night and it was still raining. And then this morning, this morning it's snowing. So lots of weather. Granted, not much of the not much of the snow has stuck on the ground yet. Well, on the grass a little bit, but on the roads, not a whole lot has stuck. But that doesn't mean it's not going to, because a lot of it's just like the slushy snow at the moment. But yeah. Oh, Joni, I found something for you. You know how on one of my last lives, when I had mentioned about those sticker books. Let's see. Like these Christmas sticker books, Joni. I had looked at a different Big Lots, and of course they didn't have any. I'm going to turn this around really quick. But I went back to the same Big Lots that I found that one at. And they had a couple more of those sticker books. So I went, well, since they had them, I got some. I got what I could find that they had left, which they had 2 left. But I plan on splitting one of them up and sharing it with my friends as Happy Meal. And then the other one, I was thinking of sending to you. Unless you want me to split it up. But I can send you the whole book. Just because. I just thought I would let you know that really quick, Joni, since you're on here. Because I also decided yesterday, because I bought those cordless irons that I got, that charges on the base and then you take it off and iron, and then when you're done ironing, you put it back on. You know, it doesn't have the longest life when it's not on the base, like, but it has enough for my purpose of what I do. Whoops, I just did that wrong. That's supposed to be something else. I wasn't supposed to put yellow right there. Oh yeah, it's fine for you to split it too, Joni. And send it to you, and you can send it out as Happy Meal too. I'm sure Kelly would get a kick out of it. All those cute Christmas stickers. The saying, I got that iron from Big Lots, and it was $24.99, which is a pretty good price for a cordless iron. That works good too. At least it's working good so far. Don't know how long that'll last. And they do offer a warranty on it. But I figured I wasn't going to bother with the warranty. Well, because they didn't offer me the warranty before, when I got it like a couple weeks ago. Warranty because I'm using it as a gift for my sister. Well, I'm thinking of using it as a gift for my sister. So I either use it as a gift for my sister for Christmas, because she does a lot of quilting and, well, she does a lot of sewing, but she mostly does like the quilting and stuff. And or I wrap it and put it as like an overall gift for like white elephant type gift that we play every year for Christmas. And I could do that too. Either way it's getting to somebody. Like if I put it in the middle as like an overall gift for everybody, there may be some of the boys that don't like it. Hi, Tiffany. How are you? Yeah, a big book of stickers. Yeah, I love stickers. But I will take the price tag off of the box. Just because. You know, sometimes it's hard to find a good time to do this, like a good time and a good day. Because I hate stepping on people's toes. I don't want to interfere with their streams because I know I am with one. But she's been on since 7. She's probably getting ready to wind down anyways. But I did say my goodbyes. So a lot of the time I just like to, when I'm getting kids ready for school, I'll have somebody's stream playing in my ear as I'm getting prepped for the day. And then sometimes, depending on what's going on, I'll just have them tucked in my pocket and I'll listen to them. And sometimes I'll pipe in with a comment or something. And then they see me and have to say hi, which is great. And sometimes I feel if I don't say hi back, it's being rude. So I do the whole train of highs. Because it does make me feel good when you hop on a stream and you say hello or hi or make a comment about the stream. Or they had a question or something and you comment. Makes you feel good for people to say, oh, hi there. You know, like, hello. And I'm sure you guys all know that. It happens to us all. Yeah. I like this community. I like having everybody. I like all my friends. You know, I like to say hi to you. And I do consider you all friends. Like when I talk to my husband about stuff like over the phone, I'm like, yeah, I was talking to my friends today and I told them this. And we had a good conversation. And he knows I'm talking about my YouTube friends. Because I'm not one that really goes out and socializes with other people a lot. I know, shocking, right? I'm like a homebody. I do like to go out and say hi to people, and I'm social, but I'm not one that goes out like and gets together with friends and stuff. This is my getting together. This is my kind of getting together. Hopping on the computer or my phone and watching all of these great people that I love to watch and getting to interact with you all and talk to you all is my kind of socializing. I'm switching to my smaller brush because I got some little teeny tiny areas here. And I feel that that other one is just a little too big. Even if I kind of stream into these other lines a little bit here. I like paint over the red a little bit. Yeah. Typing hello everybody works too. And then everyone's going to say hello back to you. But you did do your blanketed greeting. So yeah. That makes sense, Patty. Because it's hard to say hello to every single person. Because then you're trying to look it up in, like, the stream. It's like, did I miss anybody? You know? But yeah. I really enjoy this community with all of you guys. Like, last night I was on Beth's channel. And, nobody really was chatting or talking. Okay, Joni. See you in a minute. But nobody was, like, really chatting or talking. And so she's like, man, the chat is slow. And so I type in, I'm like, well, I'm looking for my computer charger. Because it's a computer that I haven't used in a while. And so I had to remember where I put the charger. So I was looking in my computer bag where another computer is. Well, because my mom had a computer and we got the battery fixed. And my daughter used it for a while. And then my daughter says, oh, well, it's not working. And gave up on it. So I took it. I'm like, fine. You don't want it. I'll hold on to it. And well, that's in the computer bag. So I looked in the computer bag thinking, well, maybe I put my charger in there because I couldn't see it. Well, and then I'm thinking about stuff and I remember after I move everything, and which is a good thing to move everything because then I could straighten it up and put it where it needed to be and everything. So I'm doing all that, and I remember, like, I look over at my things on the side, and I see my charger. I'm like, oh yeah, that's where I put it. Silly me. So I was able to um, find the charger and plug in the computer so it could charge. And it's just a laptop. Little Chromebook. But I guess since my other camera on my other computer gave out on me again, it's so frustrating. And it's like they send an update and it crashes the software or something on the camera software on the computer or something. So I try to do the steps to do something. Something happens. Yeah, so best stream yesterday. Yeah, it was on the Batik Techniques. Hi, Linda. How are you doing? That's just fine to lurk. Glad you said hi. I'm just painting the number 7s and the number 8s. So far, I think I have done all the 7s. If not, I can touch it up. Which I understand why they don't do like a whole lot of paint in some of these, because there is such a small amount that has to be painted. All right, so the number 8. Oh, it looks like a purple. And it looks like a lot. I'm going to get out my bigger brush to begin with for these number 8s. And I'm doing just fine, Linda. Got a bit of it's snowing outside. It like rained most of the day yesterday and night. And then this morning it's snowing out there. Granted, not a lot of it is sticking to the ground, like to the cement and road yet, so it's not horrible. But they did have snow plows out too, driving around, because that's what they do here in Utah. It starts to snow just a little bit and they get out the snow plows. Well, because also the snow plows have the sand or the ice. Well, the sand or the salt. I think they use like this sand or whatever on the roads. I don't think they really use the salt anymore. Or maybe they use a mix. I don't know. But they do like go along and put that down on the roads when it's snowing to help prevent like the slickness that the snow causes. Oh yeah, look at that big area. big old area of 8. I love it. But yeah, here it's not too bad. You know, quiet days. Send kids to school. Kind of routine stuff. But yeah. Like, my son didn't actually tell me to shut up this morning. Well, I guess I wasn't singing too much this morning. So, when I get up in the morning and I start to get my kids up and awake and start getting them ready for school and stuff, I'll sing. Because I can, you know. Like, good morning, time to get ready for school. You know, just those different things. And sometimes my 10-year-old, he's on the spectrum. And he's like, shut up! Mommy, be quiet! You're so annoying! And it just makes me chuckle. And of course, I don't shut up. I still continue to make noise and sing and be loud. Because isn't that what moms are for? Is to be loud and to sing. Like, during Halloween, he was really, really wanting to go to Walmart to get a costume. Or go to Spirit Halloween and get a costume. And I told him no. That he could just wear one of the many costumes that we have in the costume box. Because when they wear a costume, I put it in the box and save it for the next year, you know. And so they end up wearing like the same costume several years in a row because that's just the way it is. And he was really wanting to go and get a costume. I'm like, well, you have your red wings there. He's like, Mom, those are not very good. You did not make those very good. I don't like them anymore. I'm like, really? I think they turned out pretty good. Oh, he did that to your daughter and she didn't like it too well. As she came downstairs, I would sing, there she is. It's Miss America. Yeah. Like, in the mornings, I'll sing, good morning. It's a beautiful day. just different things. Like all this sing and like make up things as I go that kind of rhyme, a little bit just because. And every once in a while when my husband was here, he would hear me singing and hear the kids telling me to be quiet. And he would kind of chuckle a little bit because it is kind of funny, you know, with them getting mad because their mom is singing. Hi, Sophia, how are you? How's your weather out there? Is it doing okay? Here we have snow. Well, I'm in Utah, in northern Utah. So we have snow. I know I was telling a story, and then I got sidetracked. I can't remember what story I was telling now. And I know I was saying something about singing, but I was talking about something else too. Oh well, must have not been important. Oh yeah. Well, I know when I talked to my husband yesterday on the phone, he said that it was like in the 80s. He's like, just when it was starting to cool down, now it's hot. Because he's one that will sleep with the thermostat turned down to 60. Now, I can't handle that. Well, like sleeping with it like that, that's fine. But waking up with it that cold, I'm not okay with. Do a little bit of touch up here too. Because I need to switch to my other brush. But I have a lot of paint on this brush. I'll try to use as much off of this as I can before I switch to the other brush. Yeah. That's kind of like what it was. Like in 2008, well, my sister drove, but a lot of us went with her because she drove because she had the minivan, nicer one. And so she took her kids and my kids. So at that time, I only had 2 kids, and she only had the 2 kids. And then we had my mom and dad, me and her. And we offered to take my boyfriend with us. Well, he's my husband now. We offered to take him with us. But it was like in December that we went down to Nevada. Well, I guess it was to the Air Force Base there in Vegas. Out that way. Because my sister is in the Air Force. And they were doing their little like graduation thing because she had done boot camp and stuff. And so they were doing the little graduation thing. And she's the one that introduced me and my husband back in 2006. Go figure, huh? So she was there doing her little graduation thing. So we're driving down there. And it's just a little like dusting of snow. Oh my goodness. You would think that there was a disaster or something. Because people, they slowed down so much that it was kind of comical. They did not know what to do with a little like dusting of snow. There was like nothing. It was just a little dusting. Hi, Trey. So glad you're here. You were chatting with Shelly? Well, that's cool. I'm glad you had a chance to chat with her. But yeah, people were freaking out because of the little bit of snow that was on the ground in Vegas in 2008. It was like December of 2008. So my husband at that time was still my boyfriend. We hadn't gotten engaged yet. We didn't get engaged until New Year's, like Christmas Eve. So he proposed to me Christmas. I think it was Christmas Eve or it was Christmas morning. Either way, he proposed to me. And I still have the rings that he proposed to me with. And basically, he gave it to me in a puzzle box. So it was really cute. So he gave me a puzzle box that I had to figure out how to open. I think eventually he helped me open it because I couldn't figure it out. Because that's just the way it is. And inside, it had a little saying like, what do men know about women? You know. Can't remember what the other thing was. I still have it. And it's in that puzzle box. Because I keep it all together. But then we were married a couple weeks later. But we'd been together since 2006. Since December 2006. And when my sister introduced us and me and my husband started dating, she like said, okay, Pam, because I'd had like bad luck with guys. Oh yeah, good thing it didn't make a mess, Trey. But my sister introduced us, and so when we started dating, she's like, okay, well, you can't, like, no getting engaged or married till you've known this guy for at least 2 years. And I totally understood her reasoning. Because, so my first husband, yeah, we had known each other since like high school, since like 10th grade. And we dated for maybe a week, and then he was a flake and broke up with me. Yeah. That should have been the clue there. And well, also because his grandparents didn't really like me. They didn't know me, but they didn't like me. We were 16. Well, yeah, 16, maybe I was already 17 at the time. I don't know. Because I turned 17 in January of my 10th grade year. And like we talked on the phone and chatted with each other. And and we hung out like maybe once or twice, like during school, not really like doing anything. And then during the summer, we did go to like a little thing. Let's see. Was it that summer? Yeah. During the summer, we went to like a little street fair thing downtown. Yeah, the pancake syrup. Yeah. That happens sometimes, Trey. But so we really didn't have much contact. Like, he left, like, in the middle of 12th grade year. He told me goodbye. Because we were still friends. We would, like, talk to each other and stuff during school. We didn't date, per se, but we talked to each other. But he told me goodbye, that he was leaving, that he was going to Missouri to live with his mom. Well, his mom was moving to Missouri, and he wanted to get away from his grandma. Because his grandma kind of had custody, and he wanted to give his mom a chance. So he lived out there for a couple years. And then he ends up contacting me a couple years later. And he's like, hey, I'm coming back to Utah. So we start chatting, me being me. And he kind of proposes to me over the phone type thing, saying that we should get married and stuff and whatnot. Me being naive. Yeah, I said it. I was naive. And sometimes I still am. Because I don't know everything. All right, talk to you later, Trey. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it. Welcome back, Kathy. Hopefully, Miss Emerson is doing okay. Sweet little girl. I bet she's loving up on that Ralph. But yeah, so he came back from Missouri and he was going to Job Corps and trying to do welding and stuff. And so on the weekends, I would have him come over and we'd hang out and stuff. But I don't know. You know, I'd hung out with guys, you know. I worked and I had guy friends that I'd hang out with and go do things with and go out on dates with. Then I got together with him. And so I still worked. We gotten married in January. Well, I guess I was still 21. I don't think I turned 22 until a couple days later because our anniversary was the 21st of January. And so no, I was 22. I think I just turned 23 after we got married. I think. No, I turned 22. I turned 22 after we got married, so I was still 21. Trying to think. Because I know on my 21st birthday, me and my mom went to Wendover and did some gambling. Like that, like little rite of passage type thing, you know, that you do because she would do that. And we go down there, and I only did that a handful of times with my mom. I don't think I ever went by myself. Then after I got married, I don't think I really went. Because then, after I got married, which at that time I was having second thoughts, and I was like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? But, you know, being promiscuous and being pregnant before I got married. Now, I did not take the test until, like, I kind of knew I was, but I didn't take the test until, I don't know if it was like right before, like while they were doing the baby, like we were doing like the little get together for just before we got married with my sisters, or if we did it like right after I got married. I don't remember. But my sister at the time, like when I got the dress fit me fine when I got it. But then it was a little bit too tight when I went to get married. Oh, I forgot to make that silent. That was just like a little notification saying that Aunt Bex is live in 30 minutes. At least I hope that's what it said. Because she usually comes on at 10 o'clock my time, which is noon her time because she's over South Carolina area. Hard to believe I've already been on an hour. But yeah, so like before I got married, my sisters were like, Pam, if you're having second thoughts, you don't have to like follow through. You don't have to do this. You can just not go. But it was that young side of me that I was like, but I feel obligated. I felt obligated to follow through and because that's the way it goes. Like being young, you feel like doing stuff, you feel obligated to follow through and do kind of what's expected. And I didn't want to let anybody down. I know that's weird, but I felt out of obligation that I had to marry him, which knowing now, I didn't have to. Granted, I was pregnant at the time, but I didn't have to get married. I would have been just fine if I hadn't and had pursued other things. And we did get along okay per se, like because we did live together a couple months before we got married. Because that's just the way we did things back then. How I did things, anyways. And well, my sisters, okay, my younger sisters. So one of them, well, I guess both of my younger sisters. Well, I have 3 younger sisters, but 2 of them, they already had a child. One in 97 and the other one had one in 99. And here it was 2000 and I was pregnant and getting ready to have one. Granted, I was only a couple weeks along at that time. And I would have been fine on my own. But I followed through. I got married. And we were married for 4 years. And in that amount of time, we did have my daughter, which is 20 now. And this is a hard part. Okay. So we had been together for 4 years. Oh, that's good, Kathy. I'm glad she enjoys the paint by. So we had been married for 4 years, and he had gone out to play with his race car, and he took our son with him. And apparently, he went to play with his little like toy hobby, like remote control car thing. But he also went out to meet with his girlfriend. Yeah. And they let my little boy run around in the field while they did their business in the back seat of the car. And then he gets home like after midnight. And then ask if I'm going to church in the morning. And I was pretty upset anyways, because of course he didn't come to bed. I think he slept on the couch or something, which I guess was fine. And so when I got up and he asked me if I was going to church, I got the kids ready and we walked to church because the church was just up the street. So we walked to church, and when I got home from church, he asked if, basically because he needed time to think on how he was going to break the news to me. So when I get home, he asked if we talk. And so we start to talk, and he tells me he wants a divorce. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, all right, well, I'll have my stuff out by the end of the week. And I'm sure he wasn't expecting that. He was probably expecting me to fight and like put up a fuss about him wanting a divorce. Well, we had been rocky anyways. We had been having trouble. And told me the conclusion that the Institute of Marriage is a joke. Never again. Yeah. And that's the way it is. But I said, okay, I'll get my stuff out and be out by the end of the week. And he was probably shocked by that. But I did. I was able to borrow my brother because he had a trailer at that time that he could hook up to his truck because he had a truck. So we loaded everything up and we put some of it in his garage because he let me store it in his garage for a while. And the other stuff went over to my sister's house because she let me live in her basement for a short while. Granted, her husband wasn't too pleased about it, but he understood. So I lived in her basement for like 2 weeks. Basically long enough to find me a place. Was it 2 weeks? It's okay, Megan. I'm not sorry. It was like the best thing ever. You know, we were fighting anyways. We were having issues. Well, and because I was the one working and he was the one staying home. But the thing was, I would go to work at night. So I worked graveyards because that's the only time that I could really do it, because I would put my kids to bed before I left for work, and I would get home and they would be waking up. So kind of juggling all of that, with 2 young children. Like, I would go to sleep and I just barely got home. He's like, well, I was up with them all night. I'm like, really? They were sleeping all night. Oh, basically, he was up on the computer all night, talking to his girlfriends on a dating site that he didn't want me to know about. Because I did see it on the Discover card charges, because he had a Discover card. And I think I was a co-person on it. Which, when we got the divorce, I did make sure that my name was nowhere on there. And I even put in the divorce thing that I had no responsibility for his past debts, because that just wasn't going to happen. Hi, Janet. How are you doing? Fancy seeing you here. Well, I know you were in Dee Dee's. And I know Becky is coming on in a couple minutes, too. 15 minutes. I just painted my finger. Yeah, I'm just telling stories of many moons ago. Like when I was married to my first husband. I'm airing my dirty laundry out there for all to hear. But yeah. But I lived with my sister for a couple weeks. And then well, actually, no, it wasn't on our 4th year anniversary. It was like, we'd been married for 4 years and 3 months. So it was like 3 months after our 4th year anniversary. Well, because it was March that it was final. So yeah, it was, I don't know. Trying to explain why old landlines won't work. Thank you, Jana. I do think it's turning out quite nice. I can't remember all the details, and the thing is, I don't always write everything down. So I do write some things down, but I don't write enough down. And I was listening to Barb Owen last night while she was streaming her live, and she was talking about her Hi, the Stock Explorer. I can't remember your real name. I watch you sometimes, but I can't remember your name. But I was watching Barb Owen, and she was talking about her journaling and writing about her hardest times and, just life with her husband and just the trials and tribulations that she went through. And looking back and reading it all and, and seeing how much she went through and how far she's come, it's inspiring. And sometimes I think I should do better at writing things down because I don't remember everything. And there are some times where I've gone through and I've caught up, said, okay, well, this time this happened. And I'm sure I wrote about like my situations going on with my ex at that time and what happened and what went down and what I found out and stuff. But so the divorce went final like, I think it was in March. It went final. And I think it was January. No, it was 1 month after our 4th year anniversary. So it was in February that all happened. That's right. It was in February. And then a month later, I had everything final. It was final within like 30 days. Because we did what we had to do. We did the little counseling thing that they make you do for divorcing with children. And he signed the paperwork because I had it all filled out and everything. An online program that I filled it out. All right, talk to you later, Joni. Have a great day. And so, oh yeah, some drawing. That sounds like fun stuff. So I lived with my sister. I might have actually lived with her for a month. I know I lived with her for a little while, but then I was able to find, yeah, because it was probably a month, and then after the divorce was final, I moved out and had an apartment because I was able to find an apartment that wasn't too bad. And I moved into an apartment, and I lived at the apartment for a couple years. And then I found my second husband, but we didn't date very long. We dated for a couple months and then decided to get. And things just started to go downhill. Then I found out that he was, well, I didn't find out about that till after I filed. But we had a big fight. And, we did continue to fight. It just, I don't like fighting. I don't like the contention. But these guys I was with, they liked all the contention. They liked the fighting. They liked the contention. And it irritated me. And maybe they didn't, but it just seemed like it to me. But we were together for 9 months, my second husband. So I guess before I started realizing that really wasn't what I wanted. So we had been married for like a year, because we got married, I think, in September, maybe September 2nd, I think is when we got married. But we got married in September, and we were married for a year. And then on Halloween that next year, because I got in a house, so we moved into this house on Halloween. Well, because it was in like the morning, like afternoon, morning time, when my kids were at school. My daughter was at preschool, a Head Start, and my son was in kindergarten. So they were at school, and I had errands that I needed to go run before I had to go to work later. I think actually I had that night off. But I would have to go to work later. And so I had errands that I had to run. All right, see you later, Janet. Thank you so much for stopping by. I so appreciate it. But so, we're married for years. We started fighting, and I just found a number 5 and a number 7. That's the way it goes. But we had started fighting, and he started acting like a 2-year-old, sitting in the car, sitting there like throwing a fit, not wanting me to go anywhere. And I'd had it. It was the same argument over and over again. And I was done. So he wanted answers. Hi, Chris. How are you? So glad you stopped by. I think I have, well, not quite all of my 8s. I thought for a minute I did, and then I saw another number 8. But things just kind of blew up, and I was done. I was done with the pettiness and just like the constant reminders about my past and just the childishness. Well, and the things he would get upset at my son, because my son was on the spectrum, and he would get upset at him. And I was just done. I was tired of it all. So I'm like, fine, you know what? I'm done. It's over. Get your stuff and leave. We're done. So I kicked him out on Halloween. Granted, I was kind enough to take him to work. He said he would find his own way. I'm like, no, I gotta go that way anyways, and I want you out sooner. So hop in and I'll go drop you off at work. And then I don't want to see you again. Yeah. That's what I did. And so, oh yeah, I heard that you were having internet issues, Chris. Hopefully it's getting better. Well, since I just found another number 7, I'm going to open the 7 back up. Got just a couple more minutes. I don't know if Becky is on yet or not. But Becky from Aunt Beck's Creations goes on. Well, my time is 10, but she goes on like 12. Just so you know, Becky is on because she got on a couple minutes early because she had things prepped. But so I kicked him out and I filed the paperwork. And then I was talking to my first husband's wife at the time because they gotten married. And she told me that now that I was separated from that guy, from my second husband, that she could now tell me what she knew. And apparently he had been touching my little girl inappropriately. And she was having issues because I'd taken my daughter to the doctor for her checkup. And then I was raising concerns about, because she had been potty trained. She had been, toilet trained. And she just all of a sudden started having accidents. And she was really angry at school. And the school was concerned about her. And so I was telling the doctor about it. But of course, I had my then husband with me at the time at the doctor's office. And the doctor had mentioned, well, has anybody touched her inappropriately? I'm like, not that I know of. Well, I happened to look over at my husband at the time, and now I know it was like this guilty conscience, like, oh, no. But I should have at that time said, hey, but I'm like, I should have realized and told the doctor, like, yeah, you know what? Why don't you go ahead and do an exam? But I didn't because I didn't think anything of it. Of course, when I find out later in November, so this was like August, that like September, August, because her birthday is the beginning of August. So it was like in August during her birthday month that I had taken her to the doctor. And I was concerned, and the doctor had mentioned something about it. And of course, I had my ex with me at the time. Well, my husband, but he's my ex now. I had him with me at the time, and so of course I didn't, think anything of it. That's just me. And later come to realize that, yeah, he had been touching my little girl. And so I reported it. And I'd even reported it to, Child Protective Services, just so that they knew. Because this guy was a pedophile and he needed to, pay some kind of retribution for his dirty deeds. As I was pissed. I was angry, really angry that this had been happening and I had no idea at all. I was like totally oblivious and blind and naive to the whole situation. And get this. Okay? When my first husband's wife tells me that my second husband had been touching My little girl, and they had known since like May of that year. Yeah, like because she would go over there on the weekends sometimes because he had visitation. So she would go over, and they had known, but they had not told me. They did not alert me. They did not warn me. They kept it hush. And my ex had said, well, don't tell her. She doesn't need to know. I'm like, really? Seriously? You don't think I need to know about this situation of this happening? Seriously? I was livid. I was so upset. And I cried, and I beat myself up about it for months because and I find out I'm pregnant. And so I went to the store and I bought some prenatal vitamins. At least I thought they were prenatal vitamins. Apparently, I had gotten a bad batch that were actually like a morning after pill, like a abortion pill. Yeah, that was mixed up in this. That didn't make me happy either. Granted, you know, I would have welcomed the baby with open arms, regardless. You know, even if it was from the pedophile, you know, I would have been okay. I was like 7 weeks along, at least. Well, it would have been December. Well, it was December, and so it would have been January, well, October that I had gotten pregnant. Before that. So in all reality, I might have been a little further along. But it had been like 7-8 weeks since my last cycle. And I'm taking these supposedly prenatal vitamins that really were not. And I end up having a miscarriage. And that was hard, you know. But it's like, well, sometimes these things happen, and maybe it's for the best since I'm not with them anymore. That just takes the complication out of it, you know. The complication of having a baby with him takes that away. The complication, it disappears. And I did see a number 5 on here a minute ago. And so in that reality, that's if I can even find it. I might not be able to find it. But I was grateful. And then with my current husband, because I met my husband in December that year, and we dated for a couple years, but you know, we had found out we was pregnant in like May, and I still had those prenatal vitamins, but I didn't like put 2 and 2 together. I didn't think anything of it. I didn't think, oh, well, this is what caused my miscarriage, you know. I didn't think about that. I was like, well, I have prenatal vitamins. I'll just take them. Well, I was like 7-8 weeks along. I had already set up my appointment with my doctor, and they told me to start on some prenatal. So I started on the prenatal, and I ended up having a miscarriage. And it was the same prenatal I had taken that I'd had my last miscarriage with. Yeah. So I didn't go to the doctor because it all passed and I was fine. I didn't worry too much about it. But with that happening, I was like, yeah, well, I guess I'm done. I I threw those prenatal away, but I called the company and told them that that was a bad batch and that it had caused all these issues. They said there was nothing they could do about it and that it was just a coincidence. Like 2 miscarriages with the same prenatal. No, I think there's something wrong with it. And so that one was hard because that one I really, really wanted. And it was hard, but it was okay. Because then after I went on and had 4 more children. you know. And so that's a saga. And I'm currently married to my husband. We have our 4 children and not going to have any more. And very rarely do we fight. We've had like one big blowout fight at one point. And then we resolved things and then we were fine. And I was looking, I found the other number 5 that I remember seeing before. But yeah, that's just airing my dirty laundry over the internet, like things that happen as you grow up and things like the lessons learned though with all that. Yeah, they were probably mistakes, but the biggest thing is they were learning experiences. And each little event that takes place and thing that happens is a learning experience. You learn from those little experiences that you have. They could be called mistakes. And you could sit and dwell on it, but they're learning experiences. And so I try not to, I think about them. I do talk about them. And at times they are hard, but they're learning experiences. It's the experience that you learn from the supposed mistake that you made. You learn from it. And that's the takeaway. So, all in all, it's all good. I've been married to my current husband. My son is going to be 13 here on Friday. Surprise, surprise. And he will be 13. So me and my husband have been married for 14 years. Almost 14. And almost 14. We'll be 14 in January. We will have been married. We've been together for almost 16 years. So that's pretty cool. All right. Well, I think I have all the numbers caught up. And I will have to, yes, it is a learning curve. I will have to make another schedule on when I want to do this again. Maybe tomorrow. I don't all the way know who's streaming tomorrow morning. But I think I will come back on tomorrow morning. And I will do the 9s and the 10s. And then if I see any that I've missed at other numbers in the process, I can catch up on those too. Thank you so much, Linda. You too. All right, guys. Well, thank you guys all so much for watching and listening to my stories. Here is my frog so far. It's making its appearance. I appreciate you guys sticking around and listening. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And I will talk to you next time. Bye now.